Hi, this is Keith. Thanks for joining me for this week's What's the Problem, where I get a common question about influencer marketing. Question was, we recently delved into working with influencers at my business. The great news, traffic is up. The bad news, conversions are down. How am I going to explain the value of these programs to my boss? It's a great question. You're not the first to ask it. I've got 6 tips for you today that'll help you think about influencer programs and if they fit for your business, and give you some questions that you want to make sure you ask if you're going to get the most out of it. So the first is, be skeptical on both sides. I always tell influencers, you should be just as skeptical of my business as I am of yours. One night out and one loose tongue on Instagram Live or TikTok, and your whole business can change. So think about what you're getting into before you just rush into an influencer arrangement. Number 2, realize that not all influencer audiences are equal. Some audiences may be quite large on Instagram, where they've really developed a unique following. They might also have a really big following on YouTube, or maybe it's TikTok. But you need to know who they are, you need to know how they convert, and if you're going to work with them on some paid performance program, you need to have some sense of what that program might do and how they've performed in the past. Number 3, you need to know their audience. Just because you're in the same category doesn't mean you necessarily blend. You can match up and understand how their audience thinks, what their audience reacts to. It's really going to help. It can make the difference between the program working or not. The 4th thing is, you need to realize that these relationships could take time. What's the average based on their previous history for how long these programs take to ramp up? They usually don't happen overnight. The fact that you're getting clicks is a great sign. Why are they not converting? You might want to ask them. Send a survey, see if you can. The 5th thing I'll tell you, make sure you're evaluating these programs regularly. You need to make sure you set them up with unique tracking so you know the specific contribution that each influencer program is making to your business and whether it's worth keeping around or not. And if you're not looking at it regularly, how are you ever going to know? The last thing I'll tell you is tip 6. Make sure your creative is tailored for their audience. If it's not, you may be missing a simple language thing that could help the program vastly improve. The other thing you may want to consider is, what's the compensation model? Some influencers work on a pay per lead, some work on a pay per sale, some might be interested in doing a % of revenue that they generate for you. So don't be afraid to explore options. Find ones that are mutual win-wins for you and the other, and typically they'll work out. But I hope you all the best in your new program. I think it's going to go well. If you've got any other questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I'll see you in 2 weeks for the next What's the Problem?